Poppy would be the lead guitar.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally here. Team Secret versus Team NP. Draft is underway. Ben, first two bands, what are you feeling? We keep on banning away Train Protector Wisp.
Do you take out the Jakira?
Yeah, Jakira's been very value.
Wisp for sure, I think. Especially because both of these teams play Bristleback, which I think has been rising a lot in stock lately.
Oh, then do you also try and help counter that one? The other hero, which we kind of haven't mentioned at all, is the Keeper of the Light. Used in combination with the Bristleback a hell of a lot. We saw AUI trying to manipulate the jungle as well, trying to get this flash farming out for NP early on. And it's that other D push, right, that works with like the Jakira Macropire, which stops your push coming in. So all these things just work for him beautifully.
Our Troll being banned away. Enchantress. That is one hero that both sides are actually willing to pick up. AUI Enchantress, that's a classic. Team Secret just recently showing off an Enchantress in their games as well.
Is it still worth the Enchantress in the first phase though?
I believe so.
OG banned it out yesterday. All 3 games.
Feels like it's very important to have supports that have a heavy impact in that level 1, first 1 or 2 minutes. Kind of offsets the power of the double creeps, kind of offsets any support duo out there right now.
As we're thinking, NP was going to take out the Ember Spirit in the first phase, so they focused on the cores of Team Secret, the ones which are just insanely difficult to deal with.
You feel like Secret is more limited in their core selection, Ben?
I'm just wondering if they're going to ban Wisp right now. If not, maybe a different type of game.
And if they don't ban away Wisp, if they ban away Wisp, then Train Protection gets picked up, and vice versa.
Dire team pick.
And tree's out.
So they feel like they have an answer to a Wisp strategy.
There's many teams who have thought they've had an answer to a Wisp strategy, and then they've lost. So
10 seconds remaining.
I'll be cautious about that. But then what do you do here as NP? Like you want to pick up an IO in the first 2 and then have Team Secret get the combination that they're looking for?
Reserve
I think
time.
so. I think you just have to be prepared if they like respond immediately with a bounty hunter, and they might be considering like if they do pick up the Wisp, do they want to do the Iron Talon start or they want to have really strong lanes? So maybe you pick up like something like let's say the Bristle first, so that you can deal with the Wisp potentially
Team
on the other
Secret's
side.
turn
They
to
take
pick.
the IO. So at least it blocks it out from Team Secret.
Speaking of the Bristle, that would be, do you take it as Team Secret to, because Wisp Bristle seems like a duo that is very dangerous to give away. Even if you think you have the
10
counter,
seconds
Team
remaining.
NP have a practice strategy.
Oh, they let it go. They go Jakira or
Dire
Clockwork.
team pick.
Immediately, they're top picks right now, so purely comfort for Team Secret here.
It was funny too, because we were looking to see the Clockwork being picked up by Team NP, but instead it's Secret that get it in the first phase as well as Jakira. Like at this point, you almost wonder if you'd switch the draft
10
around a little
seconds
bit.
remaining.
Ben, are there any mids that you feel like
5
are strong
seconds
enough to
remaining.
be warranted to pick in the 1-2? Such as like Queen of Pain's been very popular. We've seen
Team
Ember Spirit,
Secret's
Team
turn
Secret
to
grab it.
ban.
Maybe just Ember Spirit, I would say, for certain teams. Not for MP, but definitely for Secret. I think they could get away with the first phase. But I also prefer it on teams that can play that hero in multiple roles. Like some teams would do like Safe Lane Queen with like a aggro.
10
if possible.
seconds remaining.
Always having that flexibility is important. So Bat Rider combination
5
with the IO
seconds
set up with
remaining.
relocate ganks. And also Jakiro suffers a lot from the sticky napalm.
Reserve time.
Doesn't this just feel like a perfect position though, where you grab something like a Disruptor, that long range disable for the lasso, even though it's not instant, it's issues for the IO when he pulls in as well. Seems like a good combination for Team Secret, depending on how they make it work in the laning phase.
Wisp is in way more of a mana and HP battery rather than a relocation mechanism, I would say.
So
Most of the relocates I see is defensive.
So you'd approach it more from a pop that Wisp actually have the damage to kill off the IO.
Yeah, that's what we generally see with, like, we'll see Lion, sometimes Bounty Hunter, sometimes Timber Saw. Like, these heroes are really good at dealing with the IO, but recently, so I don't know, maybe even like Ancient Apparition might come back to stop the heal. There's a lot of different solutions that teams have seen. We've seen Enigma, Tidehunter, very common too, against the IO.
So you're okay if we run a Clockwork 4 position and we change the offlane?
If they like. They play
Dire
Wisp all the
team
time, so they
back.
surely know how to deal with it. I think Enigma is going up in stock for sure, though, for Team Secret.
There's a lot of mids that have strong synergy with the Wisps out there. One of them that I would point to for Team NP would be the Death
10
Prophet
seconds
that
remaining.
they ran a lot in the previous patch.
Storm too, I think.
Yeah.
5
Both
seconds
very,
remaining.
very good here.
Like, for the sake of MP, I'd actually hope they lean more towards the Storm Spirit. Just to have
Team
Father on a
Secrets
hero
turn
that's
to
more
ban.
maneuverable.
You want him to...
I want him to have like one of those heroes that's able to be a big playmaker and not just a we run at you as an unstoppable ball.
So it's more-
even though they could work with the MP lineup.
So it's more the fact that
10
it's an
seconds
initiating
remaining.
playmaker rather
Yeah.
than the fact that it's more of a late game hero. You want to
Exactly.
see Pucks and Storm Spirits. and
Dire
heroes
team
form.
ban.
It did seem like they were a bit lackluster when it came to him running the Bristleback. He definitely was playing that correctly, but he just couldn't lock anybody down by himself. And
It's the timing of it, right? Like because he has to rely more on his teammates to make everything work. Now that's a position that Father
10
is
seconds
not
remaining.
not accustomed to because he's Mr. Mech on any other
5
random hero he can
seconds
possibly
remaining.
do. He's
Razor, Viper, I beat heroes 1v1
Team
sort of thing.
Secrets
yeah,
turn
maybe
to
Father
pick.
starts actually drinking the juice that Burnington and we start making that a thing again.
Draw Ranger, as well as Puck, going to be taken away from NP. Team Secret fearing perhaps a very aggressive, push-oriented
10
lineup from
seconds
NP,
remaining.
while the Weaver and Queen of Pain, heroes that are more difficult to lock down,
5
taken
seconds
out by
remaining.
And they banned most of the mobility heroes on the side of MP. They want the
Reserve
Bat Rider
time.
to shine. I guess there's like Slark still available. Slark, Bat, Jug, or sorry, Slark, Lifestealer, Jug, who are all pretty decent versus the Bat Rider, but not so much as in the team fight, I would say.
There's not too many cores that Team Secret have really been running. I mean, if you look at those four, right, those are all the MP and mid-1 heroes that we've been seeing out of them lately.
Invoker.
Well, that's an easier
Dire
one to bring up.
team pick.
Invoker. We haven't seen him too much at this tournament. Seems like he's... What is it? But Merlini, is it a little bit too slow? Is it he's not...
I think
He wants like solo experience and he doesn't like having supports in his lane.
10
I think you
seconds
just need an
remaining.
exceptional Invoker player to get away with it in this patch because he is difficult to lane. They don't even
5
know who the mid match
seconds
was. He
remaining.
could even be a dual lane with the IO, and still they're confident enough to pick it up despite not knowing very much about the matchup at all. And it's
Reserve
also a
time.
high priority target for Bat Rider Lasso. He has no real good way to get out of it until you get Lincoln Sphere, which is like 30 minutes in. You might not get to that point in the game. So
That's when you have to start looking to the saving supports, like if it's the Clockwork Hook, if it's the Jakiro Ice Path, if it's the next support coming in from Team Secret, how do you actually make that Invoker lane, like, one?
Yeah, many of the heroes, support heroes that used to be run against Bat Rider are kind of out of the meta. We don't see Oracle anywhere in there. Vengeful Spirit has taken a serious dive lately. Unless we're going to be running Core Venge. It's always possible that Secret can pull that out. They do at least have the Clockwork, right? Great synergy with the Invoker. That's really how Invoker is supposed to shine at this point, right? Is he can't rely just on laning farm. He needs to be able to get some Sunstrike kills.
And if that starts to happen, then you get Team Secret using the Jakiro the way the Jakiro has been being used in last week. It's this kill into very quick push. Liquid Fire lets you force down the lanes very, very quickly, plus giving you the deep push, and that's another thing which NP have to work out in their draft. The draw range would have done it beautifully, even if you did mop up the creep wave. The draw is going to be taking out your tier 1 towers very early on. The
Team
Bristleback,
Secrets
another good
turn
way.
to
Warpath stack up, a lot of physical damage combining with the IO. They'll have no issue standing under towers with those two heroes.
I think with the Bristle, they can invade the jungle very early. I think if you, as soon as you see the Invoker pick and you only have an IO Bat Rider draft on your side, you can focus on shutting him down
10
heavily, shutting down
seconds
early, make sure he
remaining.
doesn't farm a lot with the Midas. And I think Bristle's really strong in lane. Also, it's
5
just a good front
seconds
line to run in
remaining.
there. You don't actually care if you get hook shot. Jakiro still has to run away if Bristleback is up in there.
Reserve time.
I'm wondering what Team Secret now run as their one position. Like up against Bristleback, do you try and go for the Silver Edge Slark you were talking about previously? Do you go for the Mana Burn against it? Well, Mana Burn actually
Dire
comes out
team
from this
pick.
hero.
Yep, Nyx Assassin has been one of the staples of this patch so far. Very strong support and works excellently against the Bat Rider.
Actually
As well
great
as
against
Lois.
both Bristle and Bat Rider. They both have trouble not triggering his Spike Carapace.
They have the
10
IO,
seconds
however, to
remaining.
heal up from the mana burn and also keep up people that are stun locked.
5 seconds
That's if you can keep
remaining.
the IO alive. Like Nyx Assassin giving you your extra vision. If you can get that initial stun out from the Nyx, invoke a
Reserve
Sunstrike
time.
high levels, you're going to keep getting these pops, and then that medic is
Templar
just not there for
Assassin.
NP. And here's another
Team
hero we see in the
Secrets
mid a hell of a
turn to
lot.
ban.
Yeah, we shuffle our Bristleback into a safe lane position, and Templar Assassin takes a 1v1 against Invoker, a favorable matchup.
I thought they wouldn't pick the TA because of the Jakiro. Like both sides, I thought the TA was kind of out of the question. One side you have Batrider, one side you have the Jakiro.
10
but it
seconds
seems like they
remaining.
favor the matchup against the Invoker enough to the point that it's
5
okay for them,
seconds
despite
remaining.
the mid-game matchup not being so great for them.
Yeah, what if you actually do, like if Invoker and Jakiro end up just dual laning this mid,
Reserve
Templar
time.
Assassin gets forced down.
You're going to have the Wisp rotating over if there's going to be a Jakiro sitting on you. So there will be at least some assistance. And it does mean, in which case, our Batrider is a little bit more free to get stuff out of the off lane. Ogre,
Dire team ban.
a support that can actually match the Jakiro's presence in lane is going to be taken away. I have to say, it seems like there is a very high priority being able to secure Roshan. That early first couple of Roshans, we've seen multiple teams picking
10
up
seconds
not just
remaining.
one, but two different Rosh-taking heroes. Here we have Templar Assassin and the Bristleback.
5 seconds
Batrider's tough to
remaining.
play around inside the Roshan pit as well.
Yeah.
Something Team Secret are
Dire
currently
team
lacking.
pick.
But Team Secret still have a lot of good vision around Roshan, like Ice Path range is good, Sunstrike, Nyx Assassin getting close, have to commit a lot
Rocket
of
flare.
vision to that, and maybe Team Secret then try and find a big hitter themselves for their last one, which is able to also fight inside of Roshan.
10 seconds
PL was the
remaining.
one which MP thought Secret were going to go for, so they removed that.
Still think Slark's
5
very strong.
seconds
I think
remaining.
Batrider struggles a lot versus Vision heroes. Slark's one of those, and they also can't
Reserve
really deal.
time.
The Silver Edge is also really good versus the Bristleback, and also his multiple damages is very good versus the TA. So just liking likely a secondary support from NP, although they could put the Batrider in a support position. I don't think they would.
I don't think they're really forced to anyway. Like Batrider can even run top lane back
Admiral
in like
Tonka.
Ion Bristleback back into this dual off lane.
Team Secrets
Team
turn
MP
to
are
pick.
definitely not restricted in any way, shape, or form for the way this draft rolls out. I like it, and the Conquer is just the icing on the cake for fantastic team fight and more positional play as well with that X marks a spot. We saw that really being utilized yesterday.
10 seconds remaining.
I like MP's team fight a lot more. They also have better synergy with the relocate with the X.
5
So Secret
seconds
in
remaining.
position 1, left for MP. He plays some weird one
Reserve
sometimes.
time.
Okay.
Straight up pushing and fighting hero for Team Secret.
He's a common pickup versus IO. You don't really want to fight in Eclipse. I think they needed this 5-man sort of position 1 for them.
But is their damage going to be able to match up against the presence of both Bristleback and Templar Assassin, two heroes that can really get in her face?
I don't think they can deal with Bristleback at all. I don't. It's very. Maybe they can clog him, but at best you're kiting him. You're still going to lose your clockwork, I think, in the fight. I'd have to give the favor to Team NP over here with the Wisp.
I'm also going to back Team NP. Toby, you going to
It's
give
a
it the full
unanimous
sweep?
test. It's a unanimous test. Team NP just looks so much better in the laning phase, into the team fight, and into their push. If Team Secret win this, then they've outplayed NP.
Oh, that's a bold prediction, Toby.
What? That's not a bold prediction. In fact, that's me sitting on both sides of the fence at the end of that.
All right, very well. Do you think Team Secret cannot play Team NP?
I believe they can, yeah. So if... You know what? Yeah, I will actually back Team Secret. I actually think NP are going to fall apart in their lanes.
I knew you'd crumble.
NP will fall apart in their lanes, even though technically, by all accounts, they should win. Team Secret may just get the better of them.
All right, Philippines, I know you love the double Ds. We've got David and David for our opening match at the Manila Masters.
Good morning, Manila. We love you, and we are ready for a match where no love is lost between these two teams, gods. We've got Puppy taking on his old comrades, Pylide Die and Envy. You got to figure there's a little something spicy. The lobby was full of interesting commentary between the players before the match. Enter game 1. What are your thoughts?
It's very fitting that this is like elimination at stake. One of these two teams, bit of beef between them, is going home in the first round in our first match on the live stage. It's the best way to start the event.
It should be a hype one. So as the teams enter the field of battle, take a look at the draft. We heard it seemed like the panel leaning a bit towards Secret. Do you agree with that assessment, A, for this game, and B, for the series as a whole?
Yeah, it seemed like they largely liked what MP were doing with the draft, but I mean, there was some thoughts like Tobu was saying he felt like Secret could likely outplay them. I think MP's draft, the Bristleback is going to be very hard to deal with this game. He's got the Io backing him up, so he's not really afraid of the mana burn. He can tank the Luna ultimate if he goes into like a Hood type build. So very good game for Bristle to be effective. TA has a good matchup in the mid lane. I think NP's draft is actually looking overall like they should do well in the laning stage and potentially snowball from there.
Yeah, you look at Secret, this lineup takes quite a while to really come online with the Invoker pick especially. It is heavy on magic damage until later in the game when the Exhort levels presumably pick up and the Luna gets some items. So a pipe could be a huge grab as the runes will spawn. Secret going for the aggressive invasion, at least for now. Looks like they are going to consider a full-on tri-lane here as MP will assume position. So Team Secret on the offense.
Yeah, so MP theoretically have strong lanes if they have the standard laning matchup, but because the Bristle's not going to get kind of contested in lane, this aggro tri-lane can be very effective. This Luna Clockwork Jakiro can really cause problems for a melee hero. You can't really go into last hit when you might get caught by a Cogs, hit by the Luna. It's going to be very tough for MB to actually have a good early game.
Normally, Bristleback is not contested all that heavily in the laning stage, and so like by the time you see him fight, he feels very tanky, but early levels, he's really not. Only 3 base armor is okay, his HP is decent, he does have the IO to support him, but until you have those points in Bristleback, the points in Overcharge and Tether, he is a hero that can be dealt with. So, interesting move by Secret. Going aggressive. The Mana Burn also going to prove a problem for him to a certain extent until Pile Die gets some regen items to help keep the Bristle topped off.
Yeah. The level 1 Bristle is not all that scary until you start seeing points in the passive. It's interesting to see what Kezu's going to get out of this bottom lane. Doesn't look like he should be able to get too much, but yeah, the harass at top. Burning through that mana pool, the Bristle. He's got mangoes, and he can also put the mango onto the Io to get himself the extra regen, including as well as a clarity, but this is just a really rough start for Envy. Constant harass coming out to him as well as Pylite Eye.
Yeah, now, of course, the Quill spam proving a bit of a nuisance for MP, going to force him back. Take a look at our other lanes here, see how things are developing. As Fada matched up against mid 1, early on having a good time. And generally, we have seen that the TA gets the upper hand in this matchup at least early. Doing a good job at slowing mid 1 down. Who's certainly known for his ability to dominate those 1v1s if he's left unchecked. But we're going to see a rotation now, it looks like, as Puppy sweeps around, trying to give a bit of help, and should be able to remove the refraction charges for Fada if he chooses to activate it. So they're gonna somewhat take away this whole tri-lane, give a little more space to the Bristle, and focus more on getting that Invoker a good start.
Yeah, he just swoops in for 1 Jewel Breath, comes at a time where the TA could theoretically, level 2 refraction gets very difficult for the Invoker to get any farm. Invoker hasn't really got the points in the Forge Spirits just yet to really contest the last hits all too much, so does come at a pretty nice time to just guarantee Invoker gets some early CS and is going to limit what Fada can do as far as his early game snowball.
Yeah, he'll still have that extra damage to try and secure last hits, but you can see just that quick rotation already. We're seeing mid 1 stabilize at 11 and 7 on the CS chart, so just a little bit of help from a friend, apparently. All he needs to get back in fighting shape. And our last lane for now is just the 2 tempo controllers. Kezu playing the Nyx SS and MSS on the Bat Rider. And
yep. Great lane for Bat overall. He had some help at level 1. I think MSS maybe missed a bit of the last hits there because he isn't farming as well as he perhaps could have, considering he had the dual lane to start with, but he's completely zoning this Nyx, and it's very hard for Nyx to fight when he's got all these sticky charges on him.
Yeah, and it's such a low mana cost spell that even with the mana burn, you're not really able to prevent him from using it fairly frequently.
I like the approach where he's like, let's just spam this mana burns to limit Bat Rider's kill potential. He has got double mango though in MSS, so he can always, if he's going for a kill, just pop a mango or 2 to give him that extra mana to use more napalms, potentially get an early point in Flame Break to catch him by surprise. So we'll see if anything unravels there later on, but very likely going to be a quiet lane.
It is kind of mango madness here. Feels only fitting in the Philippines, home of the best mangoes in the world. So nice to see the item making a comeback.
Yep.
Very appropriate. Secret are going to make the first aggressive move of the game. Smoking around, wrapping towards Pylite Die and Envy. Probably going to focus on that pesky little Io as Yapzor finds the opening, pops the Battery Assault, and the Lucent Beam helps secure the mid position with the Cogs there. Pai's able to tether out. Should be okay. Envy very tanky. He's going to burn low, but won't quite be finished off. In fact, Envy turns it around. finds the first blood of the game. He almost gets MP2. He's going to get angry at Puppy, and with the tether coming in from Pi, Puppy's former teammates want a bit of vengeance. Will Puppy get Pi? It's close, but it appears the chair prevails.
Doesn't land the Sunstrike as well. That could have been the finishing blow. The timing of that smoke gank.
Radiant's top
Mid
tower
lane.
is under
Looking
attack.
for the move now onto the Invoker. NP is pushing up the tempo, but Kezu's there with the save. Good two-hero Pal looks to turn things around. They do it the Cold Snap, holding Fauna in place for the time being. Do they have the follow damage? One more auto attack with the Mana Burn. It's enough.
What
Secret
rotation from
striking
Kezu.
back.
That is some heads-up play and a very quick response from a hero you wouldn't expect to TP in at such a low level. You think Nyx, he's got this lane where he can just get his experience, get his level 6, but he makes sure he saves the Invoker and then turns around. If not for that turnaround, if Secret went down 0-3, losing the offlane where they were aggro trailing, as well as losing mid, that would have been a disaster for them. So Kezu kind of salvaging the laning stage there with that TP in. And Secret at least gets something early on. They were really starting to look to be in a tough spot. That IO having the second tether out to the creep wave just proved to be something that Secret weren't ready for. The timing needed to be when the tether was on cooldown. If he tethered the Bristle, there's a small window where you go in, but because he still had it up, he was able to tether out of the cog strap.
Of course, the trade-off, though, is even though they get that kill in the mid lane, it's just free farm for the Bat Rider right now. MSS already 31 and 17 to the 7 in one of the Knicks. Granted, he was getting dual lane, so you don't expect him to do well, but that advantage even further amplified now is down in the river. AOI 2000 has been caught out by Yapsor, looking for the solo kill. He'll come up flush. He finds it. Definitely a needed kill for Secret, but Gods, overall, looking at the CS in this game, they are getting pretty heavily dominated, so these kills are essential for Secret.
Yeah, that's where I think this game could be quickly out of hand if not for kills like that one there. The solo kill for a Clockwork means he's going to get his level 6 that little bit faster. The kill in the mid lane means Invoker is having a slightly better time in what is a pretty bad matchup for him against TA. So small little things helping create a bit of an equilibrium here in this early game, although it is still NP favored with how much CS and farm they're getting in the lanes.
And they could really fall behind if they lose control of the NP jungle, because NP have 3 heroes that are fantastic at clearing stacks. They've already begun to stack Ancients, the Bristle, the TA great at killing those off. The Bat Rider, of course, can farm the jungle decently as well. So with the IO, that's something that we used to see a lot of from the IO picks, is you like go to the jungle a bit earlier. You can kill off bigger stacks because you have the extra regen and the overcharge to help keep your carries alive. So something Secret definitely have to be careful about.
Yeah, definitely a dream game for farming efficiency when you bring that up as far as the stacks go.
And we've got the master of efficiency in this one.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where getting ahead here in the game, in the new patch, it feels like you can take early objectives and then you've got full access to the entire farm of the map while your opponents don't. So theoretically, NP, if they're able to take down some early tier 1s, could very quickly just take over the entire map, and they can farm it so incredibly effectively.
So the game slows down a little bit now as we see Pi begin to rotate towards the mid lane, perhaps anticipating a rotation from Secret, which has in fact been mirrored as Yapsor assumes position in the trees. Both teams very worried about their mid lane getting yanked, possibly thinking about a go of their own. The trap is deployed mid. Looks like it's a bit off the mark to catch mid 1. Just Fada trying to threaten, maybe force out those TPs, rotations. Is now a fishing torrent. Also fails to connect, but just a lot of action around this mid lane. Seems like trying to shut down the tier, the Invoker is a higher priority right now for both teams.
See Kezu hit his level 6 fairly soon on the Nyx Assassin. That could spark some aggression from Team Secret. Unfortunately, didn't quite get it from that last creep wave, but he will get it from the bounty room, which means we may see that first move from him. If he can catch someone like an IO or a Kunkka, these supports are pretty underfarmed and pretty squishy right now.
Owie with the aggressive move into the mid lane, even showing the IO that was up on the cliff, and this will prompt the rotation that you mentioned with that Nyx Assassin rotating in. Bat Rider, I believe, does have a
Dire
TP as
sentry
well.
there, though.
We
Yeah.
could very quickly see 7-8 heroes descend on this mid lane.
Perfect timing. The Dire team put the sentry right as the Nyx was about to swoop in invis. I imagine the call came from the top lane. Envy's like, this Nyx has gone missing. You open up the scoreboard, and you see he's level 6.
Well, they saw it, but doesn't matter. He goes splat anyway. Great pickup by Kezu, who will scurry away to the north. The Cockroach proving too elusive for now.
They protected the push. They did not protect their retreat, and Kezu found the opening to get in. He's been definitely the star of this early game for Secret. That rotation mid, now finding another pick off for his team. Him and Yapsor have both been very good and effective on the rotations.
Secret playing a little stacked Dota of their own here, and that is something to mention about the Luna. Still a fantastic hero for turbo farming later on in the game. So for both teams, really, it could be turned into a very economy-heavy mid-game. But for now, still waiting for that first big Batrider rotation. I imagine we've got Highlight Die closing in on level 6 on the IO sometime in the next couple minutes. So.
Not too close, but the 10-minute mark means the tombs come up, so that'll I guess Kunker and I are both very good with their level 6s. Clockwork's level 6, another big important one. Yapsa will be definitely the recipient of their tomb, so.
They're going to shove in this bottom lane now. Committing the Firefly and a Torrent on the creep wave. Looks like they might want to rotate.
Yeah, the Batrider's build, the Arcane Boot's very good in the matchup against Nyx Assassin to give you a mana pool to always use your spells, and the Mana Burn doesn't do extra damage. The downside is it slows down the drums, it slows down the Blink Dagger, so MSS, it feels like, is going to be playing like at a bit of a slower pace with his item timings than he normally would be.
Mana Boots also have extra value when you have the IO on your team as well.
Absolutely.
Perhaps a consideration here for Mojo Stormstout, as Puppey will take over the mid lane, also needing to do a little catch-up. Jakiro, not particularly farm-dependent normally, but is fairly level-dependent as a support. All of his spells scale quite well, so getting a little me time there. But we are going to see NP make a movement on this bottom lane as 3, maybe 4 heroes descend there. Yeah, it looks like under cover of smoke. Fana is creeping in. They might find MP momentarily as the Eclipse, but there's a few too many heroes here with Refraction to tank it as well. He's just going to have to accept his fate. Down he goes. NP looking now to take over some jungle creeps, and it'll be Fana back to the mid lane, so they're not going to try to push too hard onto this.
Great first move. It's a 4-man rotation. They leave Envy farming, and the beauty of this Bristleback hero is that he's not afraid too much of being ganked. He's very tanky with this early Vanguard. So if you want to go kill Envy, you've got to bring like 3 or 4 heroes yourself. So at that point, MP can take a kill, potentially pressure the tower, while leaving Envy alone with 4 points in the passive, the Vanguard, the treads, very hard to bring down.
Still leaving Pi in the bottom lane, but like you said, Envy freed up and just on his own. The TA also farming freely in the mid lane. So Envy right now definitely feeling more confident in their movements around the map. That is the downside to the Invoker and the Lunapix, gods. These are fairly gankable, fairly squishy cores that don't have a lot of mobility at this stage of the game. Later, Invoker gets pretty hard to gank, but still very vulnerable. Bristleback, that's not the case. Even TA a lot more survivable.
Ideal scenario for them is they want to be going for pickoffs, using the Nyx, the Clockwork, and the Sunstrike synergy. Invoker just wants to be sitting kind of in a fairly passive, safe place, farming away, throwing Sunstrikes around for kills. But he needs his kind of ganking supports and offlaner to actually make that happen. And right now, because of NP being grouped up, it's not all that easy.
Decent flame break here by MSS, but not quite the ideal angle. And it would be a long dive with a potential rotation from the Luna to worry about. NP decide not to overcommit, so they'll back off. Just content to continue their farming rotations as their cores decently ahead, even with the Midas, the Invoker still slightly behind the Templar Assassin, but a very different pace from the Bristleback game that we saw yesterday for NP gods. They don't really, there's not a huge sense of urgency. They have the TA that scales much better late game, and maybe more of like a map control lineup here, and they seem content to just trade farm with Secret.
Yeah, they probably feel like their strongest timings are going to come a bit later. This Blink TA is a very useful item to have, because that's going to be kind of an easy kill.
Elsewhere, action breaking out as the boat gets deployed, but it's Fana now on the chase with Pilot Day there for assistance. They're looking for the 3rd kill of this fight. Fana blinks in, charges forward, MSS there as well, and NP begin to surge ahead now, make it 6-4 the score, but more importantly, towers are dropping, NB applying pressure top. In the meanwhile, not a whole lot MP can do to counter it.
That's great use of the relocate. The TA gets a kill mid, and then the IOs immediately after that, relocating in bottom to assist somewhere else on the map for other kills. So really nicely played, and NP not just getting the kills, but getting the objectives to go with it. They take the bottom tier 1, Envy's been just chipping away at this top tower, so that's going to be a pretty easy take for them if they want to commit a few more heroes for it. And Secret have to be concerned about what their moves are going to be, where Nyx can find some openings, where the Clockwork can start getting involved with the hook shot.
Dire's middle tower is under
Envy's still
attack.
entirely uncontested here. Kezua's going to find him, but it really feels like it's going to require at least 3 heroes. Maybe with the Sunstrike, they have a chance with 2. But now, make it 3, and then the Sunstrike coming in as well. Good Impale to start things off. They want Envy Chan. Will they get him? Eclipse even committed in. It's enough to bring him down. I think smart call by Secret not to try to be greedy and save an ult there. Just ensure you get that versatile kill before the IO comes in and tries to turn it around.
The Eclipse unneeded, bit over the top, but like you say, it's such a big kill for them. It's so important they get it. You never know if Bristle is going to like pop all his stick charges and suddenly miraculously survive with an IO relocated. You make sure you get that kill. No messing around, and Secret will get the tower to go with it and immediately look to go and defend their other towers on the map.
Mid one gonna find Highlight Die out of position in the mid lane, just gets chunked down by raw auto attack damage. Now well on his way to an Aghanim Scepter. He has just this moment eclipsed the Templar Assassin, most farmed here in the game. And we have seen mid one can completely take over on Invoker. As far as like dealing with an Invoker, they have the Batrider to jump him, but there's not really a whole lot else for NP that's great at keeping him in control in these team fights.
Yeah, TA once he hit the Deso timing's pretty good. Invoker does not match up well against like burst physical damage. Heroes like Terrorblade TA can very quickly burst him down. TA with a blink, like Meld Strike with a Deso will take away Invoker's HP in like 2 seconds or so, but you've got to get to a point where TA has like a BKB to go with the Deso. If you're going to be blinking into all the disables, lockdown, the Eclipse, the magic damage teamfight for Secret is very formidable.
Well, this play, an interesting one. NP straight into the Roach Pit. They have lots of minus armor, but Yapzor could play the hero. He already threw out the rocket earlier. Potentially goes in with the hook shot. Sunstrike there. He's just a second late as he will hook in, but Aja's already claimed. Fada, the one to grab it. Highlight Die will take the free kill to the bank, and now NP surging forward. Gonna start looking at some outer towers here, guys, as they look to limit the map control for Secret and bottle them up. And if Secret lose those towers, I'm quite worried for them. They don't really have the best split pushing lineup. There's no like Ember Spirit this game. There's no Illusion here like a Terrorblade who can reliably and safely just farm the enemy jungle. So if they lose those towers, they might just get bottled up entirely.
I totally agree with you. It's very hard because there isn't a great option to actually defend them. Defending into this Aegis, and not to mention the fact that you're going to get jumped. Like, you tried to go near a tower to defend it, Blink Lasso is going to find you. Batrider will use tree lines, will use fog, will use a smoke, and find the lasso to kind of catch any hero like a Jakiro who's trying to spam out the lane, or an Invoker. You've got to be very
setting up top now as they make the move onto the Luna. They're going to isolate MP, and that is what happens if you go and farm on your own. It's perhaps a risk he'll have to take this game, but he is punished in this situation. And to add on to your point, as we will see a little skirmish essentially breaking out here in the Roche Pit. Kezu walks in, does not find the hero he wants to take down 1v1.
They were looking for the IO, but you got X back up the relocate. That's a really cute little play from NP. Your IO's about to relocate back into like the enemy team after saving someone. You X him, and then you just bring him right back. Just ping-pong him around the map, and NP.
Reminds me of like those old speed gaming days where you'd see the crazy like Blink Dagger gaming with the clinks, and they'd have things like X and relocate to constantly play super aggressive, but having an insurance policy, a life vest, so to speak.
Well,
throwback Dota, even in a very new era.
Yeah, concerns for Secret definitely surmounting here as they're going to lose a lot of map control. They're losing. And they have lost all their tier 1s. They're going to start losing these tier 2s likely with the Aegis. Vata has his Deso now. He didn't even have that for some of those earlier pushes and fights. And this is where TA really hits her first big peak. Having Blink plus Deso is very hard to fight into.
Kezu sees an opening here as he trying to pilot die, but MSS in the neighborhood.
His job is really to catch the IO. Kezu has to always be gunning for trying to sneak his way into the back lines, avoiding sentries, find the IO, get that Vendetta Impale into a Sunstrike, and take out the IO from the fights. If you can't catch the IO, you can't defend. You can't fight into the front. You can't fight into TA or Bristle. These heroes are way too tanky. You've got to catch IO. Batrider's like an okay target to go on as well, since it takes away the NP initiation, but IO is really probably the ideal one.
Well, Puppey trying to slow things down here with the macro pyre bottom. If Bristle still gets onto the tower, is going to start whacking away at it with the benefit of Warpath. And now Fada descends, so that tier 2 bottom slated to fall. No signs of contest. He's got not only the Aegis, but additionally a Desolator already picked up. Hyper farm TA.
Oh, they're making a sneaky little move too. They're sending the Batrider smoked up towards top, ready to catch any split pushing heroes, while the IO is bottom, ready to relocate a TA or a Bristle up there for kills. Secret, though, seem wary of this. Even though 2 carries were showing bottom, they're not split pushing. And this is, I mean, it's good they don't get caught out, but it's bad because you really want to be split pushing. When your opponents are taking all control of the map, taking all the objectives. You have to respond somewhere. Secret, their plan is to go for a big smoke, though. They want to fight knowing that maybe the Bat or the Kunkka isn't here.
Yeah, you really want to gank into the IO so that the relocate won't be the counterplay. But a Ward is going to scout out Puppey. They can disengage NP and potentially TP mid if they actually want to take the fight. They're going to hook onto Envy. That is a tough target to take down. Can they do it? Now Poppy in the Eclipse for whatever it's worth, but Fado stands his ground, dueling into MP, winning the duel for now as he chunks him low. The Aegis is going to pop. We'll have a second life to work with, and Envy now on the case. There's the lasso. Rotation comes in from the Bat. Still the IO staying alive throughout the fight. The boat on top as well, chewing their way through Secret. Almost certain to fall. 3 are down. The Luna did make it out to safety, but a heavy price to pay for Secret as NP start to go Super
Dire's
Saiyan.
middle tower is under
Strutting
attack.
down the bottom lane, maybe even going to get some early chip damage. They forced out a mid-1 buyback this early on an Invoker. Really going to hurt his economy. Try now again as they move on to the Bristleback, but Tether is there. Twilight died to the rescue potentially, but the Cogs are going to interrupt him. Envy, though, kept alive by the Tether. The Meatball is turned back on that pesky ball of light, but Envy going to stand his ground, survives for now. And MSS on the chase, charging forward as Spada. Good damage there from the TA, but now no more Aegis. Needs to be careful. Tries to back away. They will corral the Bat, try to clip his wings, and they bring Batman down to earth. They get the kill on him as well as the IO, but is it worth an Invoker buyback?
Yeah, pretty expensive. I mean, they immediately bought back. NP perhaps didn't have to fully commit to go high ground once the Invoker bought back, but giving up those kills at least gives Secret something to work with. I like the initial idea from Secret when they smoked out was definitely the correct one. They read the situation well. They understood that the Batrider and the Kunkka were actually smoking towards top. Maybe they didn't know for sure, but that was the call. Like, hey, these guys, they're looking for pickoffs on us split pushing. Let's 5-man smoke into these 3 heroes where the IO, like you say, smoke into the IO, fight where there's going to be less numbers and there's no backup coming in. Problem is it just took them too long to initiate and to actually find those picks, and it was a Bristle they end up finding. Very, very tanky. They couldn't bring him down, so Secret still find themselves in a tough
Dire's
position. They're
middle
not fighting into an
tower is
Aegis
under
now, so there is
Dire's
openings to go for smoke
are
moves, to
fortified.
try and find some catches using perhaps the Clockwork initiation or the Nyx, but still very, very difficult.
And that is where Secret are going to be strongest this game, Gods, is
Dire's
defending
middle
high
tower
ground.
has
They have
been denied.
fantastic D-push, lots of control, those congested, tight areas. Will feel claustrophobic for NP if they don't have an early pick. Going up the hill into the Cogs, the Invoker Wombo combo, even Jakiro, fantastic in those scenarios. So I think if you look at NP, they want to just keep the farm up, not get caught by a smoke, and then when they do go high ground, it's with a pick, whether it's from the Kunkka or the Batrider. Use that global mobility and pick off potential to open up a base push.
5-man smoke, not going to find anything as MP played defensively. A wild hook shot from Yapso, I'm not sure. I think he meant to rocket flare because he just hooked him like the middle of nowhere. But either way, NP seemed ready for it. They immediately played back, went defensive, and they smoked up. They're smoking behind this TA. This is dangerous for Secret. They see the TA farming alone, but what they don't know is that there's 4 other heroes right behind him smoking up.
Oh, and they appear to be considering taking that bait as
got a
they lurk in the
BKB.
trees.
Such a trap for them to go on him unless they can somehow burst him down before he BKBs.
You say that, but now they are a little split here, and Pilot Die is one of the heroes top, so if
Yeah.
they get jumped top, Secret would have the power play. Unfortunately for them, NP are playing it safe. They're going to back away, and still, while they fence back and forth around the map, they're keeping their farm up here. You can see still NP well ahead when it comes to core farm, especially after the Invoker buyback. So it's not just like they're dodging fights and avoiding Secret's pressure. They're still finding me time in the midst of it all.
Yep. They'll maintain this 4-man pressure at the top lane.
Kezu might walk right into a dire scan here. Moving undercover of Vendetta.
Dire's
Fana was ready.
top
They
tower
immediately
is under
plant down the
attack.
sentry. They are prepared
Radiant's
for any
middle
sort of
tower
secret
is under attack.
aggression onto the high ground.
I don't think Secret want to go to the high ground. They want to fight around these 2 observer wards they've got. They've stacked all their vision at this top area, and that's why they're staying up here for a long time. They're really hoping that NP makes a move and that Secret can then use this vision to their advantage. They've got observer wards with sentries. They'll see anything really coming their way. Problem is they don't maybe know that NP have an observer ward themselves.
MP playing patient and a very kind of different overall approach from what we saw yesterday. For the most part, MP was a little more up-tempo, not necessarily on a clock, but just felt like an urgency. This game, it's more what I used to see a lot of with the old Cloud9, is much more patient, happy to farm, take it late, map control Dota. We'll have to see if Secret can crack this disciplined veneer that NP are showing.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're waiting, like you say, they're going to be strongest defending high ground. They hoping that NP perhaps go for that again, but is not the case. NP, even with the BKB purchase on TA, happy to farm, happy to slow it down, happy to wait for the next Roshan more than anything, it feels like. And it doesn't really feel like Secret can make moves while NP are playing defensively. It's NP who have overall the stronger lineup right now.
25 minutes in, NP leading by almost 8,000 gold with 237 CS on the TA. That is absurd. Fata is, he's been beast mode this whole tournament, really. The puck play yesterday was quite immaculate, even in defeat. He had a huge role in their success, and it feels like that break he took is serving the young lad well.
He's come back rejuvenated and
feisty.
As it stands, yeah, Fata has definitely been a standout point for this NP lineup. See Kezu rotating in again. He knows there's no Dire sentry on top of him right now since he's by his own sentry, but I like what Pylai Dai does. Just gets the spirits up. It's kind of like a radar detector. One of those hits the licks, as it may do in a second. He might know it's coming.
Oh, but it also is a setup for Kezu at the same time. He says, great, nice early warning detection system. I have Carapace.
Yeah, that's true. Kezu, maybe not the best warning system. As Kezu says, yeah, you want to do that? Well, thanks for the free Carapace. Not going to miss this Impale. That's what you
don't jinx it.
That's what Secret need to do to get back to this game. Keep finding these pickoffs while NP and mid-1 farm. Get your two cores, transition to the late game, have Nyx clockwork, try and find pickoffs. Even if they just kill supports, they just need to buy time to create space, get the Invoker into the late game stage, get the Luna there as well. Luna's gone for this Mask of Madness, so it's a very efficient farming item, but the bigger problem is just finding places where it's safe to farm, and that's the Nyx and Clockwork's job.
Yeah, we did also see the talent into an extra forward spirit for mid-1, so perhaps Secret going to try to play more of that split push game as we drag on here. They have gone for double Midas already with the Nyx as well as the Invoker, so they're trying to play the economy game too. Do you favor either team, like going later, assuming there's no high ground or huge climactic team fight?
I think both lineups can scale reasonably well. I maybe slightly prefer NPs in the late game. With that said, like I think Secret's best plan right now is to go late game. They can't fight, they're under farm. The later this game goes, they're going to basically close up that farm gap, which is their idea. So they give themselves a better shot in the late game, but I still do favor NP. The TA, the Bristle, with the Bat Rider as a catch in the late game is one of like the best heroes to have in the 3-position role. It can be very difficult for Nyx to initiate once there's like gems in play, so I feel like Bat Rider's going to have a much easier time than a Nyx Assassin this game.
Radiant Scan will protect an NP incursion around the Roche pit. Unfortunately, the map control, not really the best for Secret. They do have that tier 2 top and mid, but no real vision around the pit, and NP just did this from so damn fast. There will be no contest.
Yeah, I think rocket players going in, but end of the day, you see it happening, you know it's going down, you don't want to go fight into this lineup of NP right now. They're just too strong. They have, like you say, the vision advantage around the area. TA Trap's very effective in scouting out any movement towards the pit, and Secret just use that time and space to push out some of these other lanes. Maybe take a tier 1 bottom. Not a big objective by any means, but at least it's some gold for their coffers to work with.
Well, the NP coffers certainly overflowing nicely as they start to march down mid. NV now completing a BKB and a cheese. It's been a very safe, standard bristleback build. So much magic damage for Secret. At this point, still quite reliant on it, so NP with an IO potentially tethered to a wall BKB is just not going to die. Especially, he's also got Coco Realm to work with. He'll shake it off.
There's no relocate. Pi just relocated top to push out a wave, which was an interesting choice. Does prevent the Invoker's split push threat to your high ground, but does mean you now do not have the relocate save for the high ground push, and they may want to actually wait for that before they fully try and commit to the high ground play.
It's a fairly low cooldown. So.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Just means, yeah, they're going to split out, farm a bit more, spread some more traps, push out a bottom lane or two.
Bloodthorn now on the menu for Fata. This TA is absolutely enormous.
Yeah. Mid one can't actually really go to the top lane to split push without the boots of travel. I mean, you could walk up there with a TP scroll, but ideally when you have boots of travel, they have a much shorter cooldown than the TP scroll. So until he gets that, the split push threat isn't really that formidable from Secret.
And when they try to push, you can hardly call it a split with 5 heroes having to move out just to break the boundary of that tier 2 top. NP certainly have Secret bottled up for now. They start to fence towards the high ground. There's the Tornado EMP to start things off with Fada. He will be X'd for safety. He was thinking about actually going onto the high ground. He'll do it again, and kind of that old school style that we were seeing from eHome when they brought Kunkka back to meta, where you just siege with the X. You can always pull him back to safety. On top of that, you have the relocate save. It should be safe damage, though. I say that. Fada did lose almost 2/3 of his health there.
He didn't do much damage to the tower. He hit the Invoker rather than the tower. Go back in again, bottom lane. I think he's realized, like, yeah, objectives is a much better thing than the kills.
I'm having flashbacks to Speed Gaming hard right now with the way they're approaching this siege. NP very patient, not doing a whole lot of structural damage, but hey, there's no tree in this game, so it is all permanent, at least for now.
The counterplay for this is getting a Yule Scepter to stop the X pullback, but farming one is not the easiest. Nyx has now cube one up. He had something. He had the Ring of Health, though. I think he was initially going to go for like a Lotus Orb.
There's the hook to start things off. YapzOr now getting aggressive, but a nice force staff is going to keep AOI 2000 alive simultaneously, looking to isolate the TA, focus her down, but she's got an Aegis. She's coming back for round 2. They still stay on top of her corpse. Secret thinking about an additional fight. Fada's going to BKB, now the Ghost Scepter from YapzOr as he sounds the retreat. So far, so good for Secret. They force out a BKB, they will crack through that Aegis, and NP have to back away.
Yeah. It's a great hold, and it was a hold not by defending high ground, but just making an aggressive play. The call there to just jump the TA, break the Aegis, and then back off was perfect from Secret.
Envy still wants to go.
So does Secret. They're posturing aggressively with a level 2 Eclipse ready for a team fight, but not going to be effective against the Bristle, who is Cheese and BKB.
That is not the hero you want to go on.
No, that's a hero you just want to ignore.
Just put him in the cogs and run away.
You tell, YapzOr, like, just cogs, push him around. Keep him busy, but yeah, you do not want to go in the Bristle by any means.
So finally, Secret will manage to purchase a gem here.
Okay.
Looking to re-establish some map control down on towers.
The TA traps and observer wards, like when your opponents are in this position where they're sieging, you want to have a gem just to take away all their vision. So anytime you do move out of your base, you don't want your opponents to know, because that's where they find the instant pickoffs. Oh, MP has been spotted, though, by a Void.
Out pretty far. Doesn't have any good defensive items as of yet. So if he's caught, he's likely going to be going down. Now putting back into Manta, and there's the hook to start things off. It's on to YapzOr with the initiation. Is going to find that Batrider. Brings MSS down nice and early. Doesn't look like he has the buyback available, so they're fighting with a power play here. Secret, the key man advantage. They also have an Eclipse ready. MP trying to wait for an opening. It's not Envy he wants to use that Eclipse on, though. Mid one coming in from the side. Now going to Ghost Walk away. Very patiently, Secret are just nibbling at NP from all directions. But Fada says, screw that, man. I'm going in, baby. He's going to BKB. Dodging away from the Nyx stun, but doesn't have the vision he needs to secure a kill. Now MP sounding the retreat. He does get clipped, though, by the
Manta's in his backpack.
And they're going to pull him in with the BKB. No way out. Probably dies anyway. MP in all kinds of trouble. Now mid one gets jumped on. NP's mad. He dishes out the damage. And he slaughters those cores.
Yeah, and the initial plays from Secret where they're just chipping, finding these pickles was great, but then they fully committed to a team fight.
And that is, they just don't have the punching power. They cannot stand against NP with BKBs up. Still, the cheese is ready on NP if he needs it.
I mean, the TA finding the kill on the Jakiro isn't a problem. It's the fact they fight after that. Once the TA commits BKB, kills your Jakiro, if you stay on your high ground, that's a win for Secret. Forcing out another BKB second from that TA is definitely a good thing to see happen in this late game stage, but...
And you can see Secret are going to have to deal with NP, never looking to leave their side of the map. As NP's going to get caught out here, he does have to cheese up. Round 2 coming in with Fada on the move, has the Haster ready, goes for the Mel, just trying to find his opening here, but they have managed to slay the beast. NP down and now Fada in trouble too. Ice Pass there, good connection by Kezu. Is the rescue coming in from the IO, tries for the highlight die, unable to save his friend. Fada's going to BKB, turns on to Kezu, but he drops too fast. Secret bring him down. They turn the corner, find the double core connection, and the IO to boot. It's 3 for them as they come roaring back into this game, yet to lose a lane of racks. And we're starting to hit that point where mid one is going to be closing in on his level 25. The Invoker will prove
Oh,
more
yeah.
of a nuisance as the game drags on.
Yeah, mid one's playing a hell of an Invoker right now. He's been in 12 of the 13 kills, which is like, I mean, it's great performance from him. It's not what you necessarily want to see because it means they're not killing anyone without the Invoker, which means like Nick's Clockwork have been very reliant on him. But ultimately, yeah, mid one's performance has kept Secret in this game. Kezu keeps finding some great pickoffs as well, and things are looking more and more on the up for Team Secret.
And Pylai Dai did not have the relocate available
Yeah.
in that last fight, so
Couldn't save his buddy.
we haven't seen like too many great saves from NP. It used to be something Pylai Dai was like known as a huge specialist for. I remember that he had that one game versus a Bat Rider where like every time the Bat lassoed, he already had relocate queued up, was able to instantly cancel it, save a teammate. With X as well, you'd think they'd be able to find more saves, but so far it's been pretty slim pickings for NP in that department.
Yeah, Secret have done a really good job initiating on targets when they
Dire's
maybe had
middle
vision of the
tower
IO
is under
elsewhere or
attack.
just killed them fast enough that the response from Pi just hasn't been able to get there. And see what NP look to do as a result. They are smoking up, looking to clear out this top jungle. We're at that point where smokes are kind of a precious commodity, though. But both teams feel like this is the time to take a fight and use them.
And this allows
Dire's
Secret the
middle
freedom
tower is
to
under
move
attack.
out of their base at long last. They will poke their heads in the river. Not quite ready to cross it just yet, but as we close in on the double rune spawn, it's really important not to lose that map control. Something NP were looking to just maintain. They have the X to always send people back and still keep them on the Secret side of the map. So you could see like the fear for Secret is they don't win those fights, and NP's always there, controlling the map, stealing their neutrals, taking the double rune spawn, but that situation has not fully arisen yet, especially with that lost team fight for NP.
So what they can get done here, they'll likely just look for some de-warding. Yapsor has the gem, but does not see the ward on the cliff by him. Definitely something you want to check out with a rocket flare or some kind of scouting, but not the case just yet.
So, timings here, guys. We're entering late game. Anything in particular for either team? Items, levels, talents to unlock? Is there anything?
TA25 is insane. +3 refraction instances is going to be one of the biggest ones that we'll see this game. But I think, I mean, most of the time it will come around Roshan. That's what teams will profile between NP getting in.
NV has that BKB, did not want to activate it. Secret trying to force it out, but good patience there. And the tether in comes from Pi. Able to give him back a decent chunk of the mana. You can see it is annoying against the Invoker, and if they waste those BKB charges so they don't win fights off them later in the game, they're just going to be, TA and Bristle go from dominating the Invoker to just being controlled all fight.
Yeah.
And having their BKBs constantly forced out prematurely.
Bristle gets a lot scarier now. His level 20 talent gives him 50 attack speed, which is a huge amount. So his talent's going to help really boost him up much more as a late game carry at this point. I mentioned the TA25, that one's coming soon. So I'd look at NP still. They've got a few more timings to come. The inability to take a Rax is not a concern for them just yet. But I feel like they really need to at the third Roshan because, as said, the more the time goes on, the smaller this farm discrepancy is between the two teams. 8,000, 9,000 gold difference at 25 minutes is a much bigger deal than a 9,000 gold difference at 37 minutes.
Relatively speaking, it is a much smaller percentage increase. Still, Secret hanging on in this game one. It looked at points like it might all unravel, but they stabilize. They start to leave their side of the map a bit more. Still struggling to get much up as far as vision goes, Gods. I suppose that is one thing to mention, that NP, generally speaking, have had the ward advantage for most of this game. And when you've got a Bat Rider, an IO, even to some extent the Kunkka giving you a lot of mobility for the team around the map, you really want that vision, that advantage in the vision game. So they haven't been able to convert it into kills very often over the last 10, 15 minutes.
NP have had complete map control, complete vision, but it does feel like they haven't, like you say, been able to use it all too effectively. They've been able to secure Roches and take all the outer towers, or they haven't even taken the tier 2 top, which is a bit surprising, but that's because they were prioritizing using that second Roche to go high ground with the Aegis Cheese, but unable to do so. Third Roshan, see if this one's the charm, as TA is going to hit that level 25 very soon. If you want to wait for the 40-minute mark, you get a tome, but more likely they just farm up some Ancients, kill Roshan, and TA will be very close to hitting that 25.
And Secret content to give this one away. NV will claim the Aegis here. Fada quite slot limited at this point. Yep. We'll be grabbing a double damage rune. It's like a truck, but nothing to crash into just yet.
Dire's
Let's grab the
bottom
Lincoln
tower
Sphere.
is under attack.
Getting closer and closer to being topped out as the TA. I mean, certainly some item swaps and still the moon shards you can purchase and have some stuff in the backpack, but not going to get a whole lot stronger from this point forward.
No. Is kind of nearing that peak. I like that he's kept the bottle in his backpack. If you find a DD rune, 40-minute mark reaches, you get the double power runes. There's a much higher chance of fighting those DDs. It's worth keeping the bottle now. We used to see mids just like sell them once you get kind of 6-slotted, no longer the case.
Not only fitting to be on Envy's team while doing it. Envy, the man who kind of brought like the carry keeping a late game bottle back into the meta. Or into the meta in the first place, I should say.
Like what mid one's done, picked up a plate mail, is going to go into the Shiver's Guard for his Invoker, needs just to be able to survive against that burst physical damage as much as possible. Similarly, Luna's gone back for a Hurricane Pike, just giving the mobility as a solution to that aggression from like a TA or a Bristle.
It's really nice pickup versus those heroes. You don't want to be close as a Luna, even as the Invoker. Just having that extra ability to disengage, wait out the BKBs. That is the ideal scenario if you're Team Secret.
See if MP go back for that X marks the spot sieging that we saw a little bit earlier.
But I think that Yule's is up by now, right?
No,
he went back for
going.
Lowe's.
Yeah, he changed his mind, went for the lowest, decided. I mean, they only did that X siege once, so has proven not to be an item they desperately need. If it was like a constant split push for like 15, 20 minutes straight, then yeah, they'd probably be like, gotta get a Yule's, but because it hasn't recurred.
Other big item here is that AC. So, NP getting better at killing structures if they hit them, but they seem quite tentative in their efforts to walk up towards the buildings. They do have relocate ready. They've got the full complement of defensive abilities with the X also online, even the boat available, but still not ready to go onto the high ground, at least not fully. It's fought on the bottom lane chipping, so actually getting good structural damage and doing so without a big commitment. Envy unable to do much mid, but now it's his turn to go whack the tower, and for Secret, the question becomes, when do you fight? And how do you go in? Pylai died and AUI sitting very far back.
Yeah, last time the way they made it happen was by initiating on the Batrider, bursting him down. If they can find a way to cleanly jump MSS, it'd be great, but he's well hidden in the trees.
Spada, he's gonna take the X and not do anything with it. Being quite patient in the siege. Still about 2 minutes to go on the Aegis.
I think Bata's like, come on guys, you guys need to be mid so I can blink in bottom without there being 5 heroes here, so he goes back mid and pushes himself. He got the damage done bottom when there was 3 heroes mid. Kunkka was bottom with him, he X's him, hits the tower. Vata seems very clear in his mind that he doesn't want to be just 5-manning down a lane. You can't really get onto the high ground with all the spam coming out from Secret. The Cogs is the most annoying thing. You just put the Cogs on the high ground and like pseudo melee heroes like TA and well, Bristle actually a melee hero, really just can't go walking into that. The mana burn from the Tornado EMP is the other really annoying thing right now, so...
It's where you'd love to have a Terror Blade or a Drow as your main tower hitter, but not something NP have to work with this game.
Vato finds the DD, doesn't actually bottle it, which I'm not sure if he forgot about his bottle there or just hasn't actually been planning to bottle those runes, but...
He's going to activate it right away.
One shot's a creep wave. Like, okay. But yeah, you want to go hit some buildings with that DD, get in there as soon as possible at bottom. Even just, we're kind of reaching that point where NP maybe just want to consider like a TA BKB hitting these buildings. Hasn't got the Aegis and Cheese, which makes it a little bit tough, but NP's going to do it instead.
Got to be careful about it though, as it will disable the potential relocate play. NP will take quite a bit of spam here. The EMP zones them back. You can see Jakiro and Invoker combining to keep NP under control, at least for now. Aegis still has about a minute to go, and it looks like he just wants it to pop at this point. No, changes his mind, gonna back away. Milo died there with the heal. So they finally managed to bring a tower down at 42 minutes. A true chess match between Secret and NP. Still our first lane of racks, proving elusive as Fada tries to move in, but his linkage spear now broken. We'll have to drop back to safety. X again, and now the surge forward once that melee racks, but the commitment might come down from Secret. Nice pet there, back row pyre 2, BKB, and muscle your way through is the call from Envy. The Aegis, only 27 seconds to go. If this is a long chase, he might lose the Aegis mid-retreat, but Secret don't want to overcommit.
Yeah, Secret's totally okay with this right now. I mean, they're still in a tough spot. They're still behind, falling further behind because they're not getting farmed, but the act of losing a melee racks at this stage is not a big deal. The bigger deal is just the fact you're falling further and further behind. That 9k gold lead has now turned into a 16,000 one. So NP are progressing much better into the late game with their items than Secret are, and Secret need to find a way to get this Luna more items, to get like the Nyx Assassin, like the Aghanim Scepter. It's mostly it's just the Luna who really needs to be a big late game threat. Invoker feels a bit underfarmed as well.
And you rewind the tape to, I mean, what was it, like 20-something minutes when Luna was off on her own top, trying to farm, gets relocate, ganked, and punished. And that's just the limitation of Luna as a hero. She doesn't have that same level of split push and elusiveness that you need.
Yep.
So there's just not really a whole lot MP can do, it feels like, on his own.
Yeah, that's the strength of this draft when you've got great catch from a hero like Batrider paired with a relocate is that no one can go out on their lonesome self to really farm or push out the lane. Invoker pseudo can because he can just leave. He can only show his Fort Spirits, he can use his spells for fog, but even that is dangerous.
There's the Tornado, gonna lock Fada in place, but gets pulled back as the engagement on the high ground
nice
commences.
disarm.
Envy with the BKB. So we're gonna have to run away, but this is gonna allow Fonda to come back in for a little bit of extra chip damage. Pulled back to safety once again. AUI playing this card as well, and NP still doing good structural damage.
Yep.
Not losing heroes, not losing map control, maintaining ward superiority, maintaining farm advantage. They're basically checking all the boxes here as they try to close out Secret in game 1.
Very disciplined from NP. Very
Disciplined
structured.
and NP are not really two words I expected to use in the same sentence.
Yeah.
I think they used to be known as Cloud9 for a reason, right? But this is feeling like a very different and more calm approach.
It's the presence of Vata, I think, in a lot of ways. This is what like he used to bring to the table, like with the old Liquid when he was on the team. Even the old Cloud9, he was like the one responsible player in the team. You know, he tried to rein in the aggression, but we'll see what the play is going to be here for Secret. At some point, they've just got to make a jump, make a move, use their buybacks to take a bold fight. Perhaps even consider contesting that next Roshan because it's becoming more and more difficult to go late game as you give up Roche after Roche, farm after farm with no map control whatsoever. Your hand progression just is not there.
Envy with the full heart of Tarrasque now. Just getting extremely tanky. It gets the lineup that, I mean, it's not all magic damage, but still you don't have like a true like DPS item here in MP. Kind of utility items, the Mask of Madness, the Manta, the Hurricane Pike, still no Butterfly, no MKB, no crit of any kind as the fight might break out momentarily. Envy surging in on the warpath, perhaps, but doesn't quite get a glimpse of Secret. The trap will get laid down, and NP, it seems clear, are going to set a course for this tier 2 top, knowing that the bottom lane will always shove in their favor unless Secret are there to de-push it. Yeah. They start to congregate.
For Secret, they were hoping that some kind of pick-off might present itself, some way to initiate in. Again, I think we're kind of gone past the point where the IO is the main target, and we're back to the bat or the TA. You need to be able to jump one of these. TA's risky because she's got 9 refractor charges with a BKB and a Lincoln. Batrider only has a BKB to protect himself, so he's like the dream target to jump.
But if he gets it off,
yeah, then
it's not that easy to kill him. He is still somewhat vulnerable to right clicks from mid 1, but
if he gets it off, that means he's just going to full staff Firefly away
or jump you and lasso you and commit.
At that point, things are not looking good for you. They may even start considering giving MSS like the later Aegises. If he's got the slots for it, but
Puppy not taking his 10%.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Envy though will grab his as he bulldozes down that top tower.
I mean, Puppy he's the Yule Scepter buyer. It looks like he's got it queued up for now. I think they perhaps might be slightly regretting not getting one with how the siege happened in that bottom lane, the constant X spam. Having a way of forcing out those BKBs, or like if you use someone to stop the X back, you may not get the kill, but at least forces like a Bristle or a TA to preemptively BKB, and it opens up a way to take a team fight.
They are going to initiate here on the TA. Shipping away for now, but Fada is forced to BKB, and they're going to hope to follow this up, try to lock the position. Still a decently long BKB, and the damage is simply not there. No real BKB piercing lockdown, just the hook to temporarily interrupt. But hey, force out a BKB, force him back. Might put NP more on their heels for the next minute or so.
TA's BKB is approaching that kind of like 5-second mark, but I mean, the more I think about it, I don't actually think that's necessarily an issue. You mostly just want the BKB to hit buildings. Yeah, 10 seconds means you're hitting buildings longer, but I think for Fata, he's able just to use the shorter cooldown of the BKB to do it more often. So, again, finds a DD rune, not using the bottle. Again, a bit surprised that he's not opting to try and hold on to these runes for actually hitting buildings.
Just ready to join the fight at any moment with the BOTs should Secret make a move out of the base.
Yep. Yeah, it does feel a game where, yeah, we're going to have to see Secret make a bold, aggressive play at some point. The gold lane's just going to keep getting worse and worse. We're up to 19,000 now. It's only going one direction, and that's NT's way.
BKB commitment forward from Fado, looking for structures, but countered by the glyph. Turns back for Yapzor. So is that Ghost Scepter, I believe, and now as the BKB ends, the fun might begin for Secret. They're going to look to roast him. They completely slaughter Fada, turning him on his heels. TA for breakfast. Will it be Envy for dinner? That's the question. A Secret chase forward. They stole the hook. Swing and a miss. Good juke there by Pylite Dive. Relocate going to be ending soon and coming right back into the waiting arms of his old comrades. Down he goes. Some big kills there, especially that TA, and more importantly, just getting any kills. Secret can finally leave their side of the map, start to push out these lanes, perhaps reestablish map control. This is a window for them, gods.
Forcing a TA buyback opens up a new win condition for Secret that perhaps didn't exist. It puts them in a spot where if you kill that TA again, which is then buyback, suddenly you're forcing high ground. You're taking racks yourself, so they are going to go down this middle lane. They push incredibly fast with the Luna if they can find themselves in a safe position. Problem is, going high ground against Batrider is one of the hardest things to do, and I think that may throw them off.
And the Roche timing is right for Secret. Into the pit they go. They don't have their full complement of spells if NP wanted to buy back and commit, but you do that and you lose a fight in the pit, and all of a sudden Secret are even in this game.
After that last fight, Puppy's got a Yule Scepter now, so it won't just be the Tornado to try and deal with the X. They've got a Yule Scepter as well, and Puppy just tanking this one up will help finish off Roche, and that's going to give NP 2 lives in the upcoming fights.
And perhaps more importantly, it takes it away from NP. So chances of a siege are looking a lot slimmer with the tools to deal with the X. We've seen very few big relocate saves, even now at 50 minutes. Count them on one hand, and less than that at most. So you can't rely on the X, you don't have the extra lives, you haven't seen the relocate plays. A poorly timed BKB could really end up biting your own team in the back. Don't think we're going to be seeing too much sieging from NP for the next 5-6 minutes or so.
I mean, Luna just buys a full Scotty now, so we're going to see her actually have some way to slow a bit through the BKBs. Just be a lot tankier. All the extra stats, the HP, the armor help survive the TA burst damage a bit. So
she's like full on kite mode now between the Scotty, the Hurricane Pike, even the Master Madness.
I think the other big thing with coming back in the late game, it's not just about getting the gold, but like your opponents get these level 25s, get these crazy good talents, and you don't have them. But the longer this game goes, we're going to see Luna hit her level 25. Plus 15 all stats is pretty damn nice. That's additional stats to go with all of her pre-existing items. And heroes like Invoker as well going to see a lot of benefit from that.
MSS was on the path towards Secret, but not able to find the jump he wanted. He has to blow a BKB charge, backing away. Did previously pick up a Shadow Blade, looking for that extra edge in any initiation scenario. Won't find the open he wants, and NP just have not been able to find openings. And credit to Secret, you're up against an IO, a Batrider, even the Kunkka for that extra bit of mobility, and Infected Secret on the move. They might want to jump Envy here. Envy, oh, that greed could come back to punish him. Ice Patch there, poke forward as well, and the Cogs can keep him stuck in the wrong neighborhood as they drop the Magnifier. The Scotty slow as well, he's still pretty tanky. Sunshine coming through, will pop the cheese. Round 2, Fada says, I'm here, baby, I got your back, Envy. They turn it around, they will bring down the Invoker, out for 100. He's gonna fight back immediately, also cracking through the Aegis, and now able to deal with the Luna. They're gonna isolate MP, bring him down too. The trap was set. Agent 3154 had a plan all along.
Wowzers. Not the target you want to go on. Not the target you want to find when you smoke up. A Bristleback with Heart, Solar Crest, BKB, and Cheese. If he doesn't have the Cheese there, he goes down, but that was just not the call made for Secret. He was not baiting that at all. He just was like, oh, I'm just going to go farm here. But I think he knows he's tanky enough to survive a gank like that, and Secret did not respect his survivability.
The siege continues in earnest with the boat crashing in and MSS flying high. They turn back, but what do they want to focus on here? Definitely Blast slowing them down, preventing them from taking objectives. The BKB is going to wear off. They might not be able to convert this into another lane of racks.
Yeah, very hard. Axe Nix on the high ground.
They'll reset here, but that Invoker spam is such a nuisance. Now the Axe Nix as well. So much spam, so much stall. Fada stun, pushback, tornado, endless just irritation.
Envy's just
Either
ran
way.
top. He's like, screw this, we're not fighting into the next axe, so let's just take the fight elsewhere. He'll go for the
They
top
might
rack.
pay. They're going to lose their TA, and now Aui's in trouble. Tries to make it up to the high ground, but Kezu on the chase. Keeps the vision there. Finds the Impale as well. Right through the trees, and now burrowing. Dropping the Carapace too. He will manage to stun AUI. Bring him down as well. 3 have fallen. Their Lunas respawned. They might have time to push at least to a tier 2. Don't know if they'll be able to get towards the NP base. But if they don't, then Secret are down a crucial Invoker buyback. With a second and even third lane potentially in danger. So Secret feels like still a lot of pressure on them, gods.
Envy got a tier 3 tower at top. The creep's got the bottom range racks, but at this point in the game, those are small claims for a big push with Luna down. Losing those 3 kills is a much bigger deal. Still a big gold lead, but strategically, Secret are in this game. They can force out buybacks now. That's going to cut into this lead. And this first is already coming out. They may not have to buy back TA. Batrider respawning, or I don't know if he wants to buy back with 20 seconds, is a dangerous hero to push into.
But the thing for NP is they don't have much stall. They don't have much spam. The boat's really the main tool, and Envy standing out in front, but they don't have that vast array of abilities to just keep them completely locked enemy team down. So NP able to get onto the tower, and Envy makes his move forward. BKB quitted, turning his back. He did grab the Octarine for an extra bit of survivability in this fight, but doesn't have a slot for it right now as he's going to get focused out. Hook shot is there, pushing him back. The relocate save at long last. It's Pi to the rescue. Now Invoker showing the rainbow as he deploys a big Deputy Blast. Lasso's there. Can they keep this hero locked down? Trying to focus on Yapsor, but he's not dead just yet. Highlight Die being brought back and will take Envy with him. As Yapsor's on the wrong side of the cogs. They haven't cracked the rack.
Yapsor!
But he makes it out!
Are you kidding me? The balls on this man!
Doesn't have buyback either. We didn't get to mention it, but used it in the previous fight as well, so.
He had the gem, he had no buyback, and he just Ghost Scepter, TP out, hands off the keyboard.
Put the shades on.
Oh.
Cool as a cucumber.
Swag play from him. Not
Still Secret though, didn't take a key objective here. Just the tier 3.
Yep.
They have to be careful. If mid one gets caught, that's pretty much checkmate. You need him to stall, and you also won't have the buyback. So they're still on the precipice.
Kind of at the point with the game where it's much more about buybacks and winning team fights than taking a lane of racks. Like, one lane of racks doesn't mean anything. Getting megas does, but you're only going to do that by winning that team fight, forcing your opponent's buybacks, or killing an opponent like an Invoker who doesn't have buyback. So things like sieging at one lane don't matter quite as much. Split pushing for MP and taking all 3 lanes, that can help.
And you get to see how good the Secret high ground really is. NP just have to spread them out. They tried to do it with Envy pushing top earlier, but so much spam, so much control, tight ramps to force your way through. Now they're going to commit. BKB, jump forward from Fada. He's going to look to bring down a range Rax, just ran away. He doesn't quite finish it, but good damage there. Yep. And at this point, like you said, the BKB is really just a sieging item more than anything for NP.
He's doing this to make sure the X pullback is successful.
And Envy's like, I got a BKB too. Check it out.
No, it's that 5-second BKB, 55-second cooldown. No big deal. Unless Secret smoke at you, and that's exactly what they're doing, so.
Oh, Envy out in front for now.
He's got a Shiver's Guard, so he stacks up even more armor for the upcoming fight.
All according to Kaikoku gods.
But this smoke, I'm not sure if Secret want to risk anything, like going low ground to high ground where Envy was waiting, even though he had no BKB, would have likely been a better fight for NP. So get some wards down if possible. Try and clear out some enemy wards, and Secret will not find much with this play, it looks like.
You can just feel the tension now between the teams where the moves earlier in the game were very confident from NP, perhaps the jitters affecting them. Certainly these players have seen their fair share of long games. But
Definitely
you
the
wouldn't
case.
necessarily know it.
I mean, the old Secret with Puppy and Envy on the same team at some of the longest match times you'd
the
ever
old
seen.
Envy Ember Spirit games where the strat was wait until I have like 3 rapiers and buyback, and then we'll push.
We'll see another X BKB here. Fata X'd up.
That's the plan. Jumping in will take down the range, and now turning back for the melee. How do you initiate if you're Secret? The lasso starts things off, and it's actually not the fight the way you want to take it, as Yapsor's been caught. No jump for him. The clock's out of the picture for now. He's not dead, though. The Eclipse comes in. Rains down on AUI. He will drop. Now Envy in danger. BKB stands his ground, survives for now, and Envy will survive.
Great save from Pi. He's going to pay for it with his life.
And they now look to sound the retreat. They got the range racks. They've only got 3 structures to go here. Pi will pay, but has buyback. Keeps the core in fighting shape. Kezu, though, is on the chase. Has the Force Staff available. Might be able to close the distance here with Fada. Has a blink and will use it again, jumping up to the high ground. Still mid 1 in pursuit, though. Secret are not ready to give up the chase just yet.
It was Pi who did a very early relocate to pull the TA away, but an essential one. There was a great tornado initiation from mid 1's Invoker. He caught 2 heroes, the Kunkka with the TA, and if he doesn't relocate the TA, then that's the BKB-less TA. That TA has no defensive capability, so it was a must relocate situation to save Bata.
Here's another tool to maybe deal with the Siege. They have the E-Blade, but again, when you're BKB, you don't really care too much about this item for Kezu.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Maybe more for saving himself or a teammate against the TA.
True.
Fighting against like the Bloodthorn initiation. Like if he gets jumped on with a Bloodthorn, he's got the Lotus Orb, but he may want to be able to Lotus Orb like a teammate or something. So.
You really would love to use that for the lasso.
Yeah. Well, see how things develop from here. NP have struggled to break high ground. A ranged Rax is all they have to show for their last like 20 minutes of sieging, and that 20k gold lead is now just 7,000 with the buybacks being consumed. And I wouldn't even consider it a 7,000 gold lead. They've got too much farm on the TA, and like TA's got 38k net worth. You don't get 38k value out of this hero.
Because she gets kited. There's a clockwork in the game. There's the Invoker to worry about.
And even like the items, like having a refresher in your stash, you're not getting 5.2k gold worth out of a refresher in your backpack. TA is not a hero where a refresher is like amazing or anything. A refresher is a BKB, so like the way the farm is being used is not efficient.
How fitting is it that Envy's always the one Secret are trying to go on this game?
Yeah, his positioning's been great. That's actually definitely been one of the best parts about his play.
You say that, guys, but Secret come in from the rear. Yapsor there with the hook. He's going to find Pi. Gets out of the cogs. Maybe into trouble, though, as he's somewhat trapped on the far boundary of them. Envy working on mid 1. Can they focus him down? Fada in tandem with him. Will jump him, but the E-Blade helping for now, keeping that Invoker alive. Still, he's roasting. Lasso will end him. He has to buyback. He's out for 2 minutes. He has no choice. He has to re-engage now. MP patient on the Eclipse. Lets it fly. Blocking Envy down. They're going to deal with that Armadillo. They will finish him up. And looking for more now as Secret find their footing. Default crashing through. Taking the TA down too. It's an ultra for MP. And MP might have to buy back a rainbow of buybacks. 4 in an instant. They say we can't afford to let Secret push.
And just like that, the game has fully swung Secret's way. They are now the ones in control. They have the buyback advantage. Still no buyback on Invoker, but they can make up for that if they can secure this Roche.
Oh, Kezu. He knows a pick here when they have the buyback advantage could just flat out win the game.
And this is looking though.
Rushing towards the pit. They think that Roche is being taken, but it has not been contested yet as Puppey starts it off. Of course it's on Envy. Now the Ice Path, the follow-up there, but MP will get Lasso first trouble. The BKB's commitment from bottom. They're going to jump that Luna, do everything they can to bring her down. The Lotus Orb is there. Yapsor as well with the save. The Cogs proving too much, and now the Deafening Blast. Mid-1, reigning in the damage, left uncontested in this fight so far. They're not hitting the Invoker. He's going to deal with that Kunkka, take him out of the picture. Pi off to the left, unable to engage. They never got MP. Kunkka's dead for 80. Pi's on the run. NP are in a lot of trouble, and they might be able to find Envy too. Pi's going to TP out, back towards safety. Do they really want to jump Envy is the question. Secret say, let's take a breath. Let's reset here, get these lanes pushed out, maybe try to go back to the Roche pit. But the fights, gods, the fights are not feeling very NP favored right now. They have used all 5 buybacks. The Kunkka cooldown about ready, but doesn't have the cash for it. Secret with what, like 8 to 10 lives maybe in this next fight are going to have a big power play on their hands.
The big thing, even if Luna dies there when she's gone on, she had buyback. So it's the Invoker who really has to be the target to jump, but now Invoker is going to have his buyback not being there covered by having this Aegis. So he's no longer even an ideal target in these fights, and makes things very difficult. Kezu's item usage, the E-Blades, his play this game has absolutely been fantastic. Like, I gotta say, he's been the MVP for Secret so far, keeping them in this game with his high ground defenses, saving his teammates when he's needed. He's been the IO of Secret as far as being able to bail his teammates out when they need it.
And finally, the big damage items are coming for MP, and MKB nearly ready if he wants to purchase it.
Yeah,
that is a huge pickup this game.
Probably wants the buyback.
Yeah.
You know, 63 minutes in, we can have a buyback. But yes, MKB will make a big difference against Solar Crest and give him some nice extra bit of damage output if he wants to commit in that direction.
Oh, NP, you would love to be a fly on the wall right now in the team chat, wouldn't you? And just see, have they maintained their calm? What's the strategy? It's a situation where it's very easy to get tilted losing fights like that.
A lot of level 25s coming out. Jakiro actually goes for the extra Ice Path stun over the Macropire.
It feels like they don't really need damage, they just need more control.
Yeah, so. I'm kind of... Yeah, that's the thing. I think both of these level 25s are amazing on Jakiro. It's like almost 50% more stun with the Ice Path, but the Macropie Pure and Piercing Immunity could be great against Bristle and TA, of course.
Illusion!
Oh. Well, you know, some thought this would be a faster patch, gods. It's Secret. Say nah, we could take it late. It's the first match of the day. Yep. Wake up, everyone. So they're going to take it slow here. Secret, again, as good as it looks for them the last couple minutes, they are down structures. A couple of sloppy mistakes, all of a sudden it's NP grabbing Megas. It might just be NP stealing this game right back. So Secret play it cool, but they now get the rune control. They now get to roam the map, knowing they have an insurance policy or two to work with. NP show himself first, but now the tornado comes out, catching Envy. Tough target to wrangle, but they are going to chip at him. The MP's there. Cold Snap slows him down. He sticks around, doesn't want the creeps to get to the high ground. He knows the Luna will mow through these buildings with those bouncing glaives. Now that the tier 3's down, you really can't afford to let her hit structures for free. MP, the ultimate siege engine in this game.
And they have to let mid go. I don't know if it's worth defending one lane of racks when you have no buybacks.
And MP's going to get caught again, but really, he doesn't have to commit here. MP is fine, just sitting back, hitting creeps, knocking down structures, has the Lotus Orb, keeping him alive for the time being, keeping him healthy, and now turning onto the melee racks is going to bring that first melee down. Secret on the board as far as key structures go now. They'll back away. NP, I think like you said, God, just content to try and wait out these buyback timers.
They would happily give up like 4 racks if it means getting their buybacks back right now, I feel. Going down mega creeps is like definitely a big thing at this stage of the game, but losing 4 racks, not the big, I mean, it's something, it's a lot of gold. It is going to help keep the lanes pushed out, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like a game-winning play. Buybacks is what they want, and problem is the changes mean this buyback cooldown is even longer than it used to be. It's still 2 minutes 50 seconds before all their buybacks come back up.
Well, those spirits died for a good cause, as far as Secret goes.
It's just AUI who didn't have to use his buyback or didn't have his buyback in that last fight. And at the end of the day, a Kunkka buyback is unlikely to be a game changer in a game like this, so probably see Secret make a play for another lane of racks fairly soon. They want to use this time where the buybacks are down. We're always seeing the timestamp posted anytime buybacks being used. Teams are very wary of opponents' buyback cooldowns.
And they are long now, too, so you really got to make sure you make the most of them. As NB shows himself in the mid lane, he actually never ended up buying that Octarine core. I guess sold it right away, but it does have it queued up again. I mean, there's only so much a Bristle can offer at this stage. Really just a giant meat shield more than anything.
Yep. Want to try and see what they can do with the jump here at the top lane.
They're going to send Fada bottom with the X to do a bit of split pushing, keep those lanes out, but MP is quick to breach the base, and in come the Glaives. They're going to mow through that tower. Now they start to bounce. Rax in danger. They've got to jump. The BKB last is there. The Lotus Orb. It looks like just a split second too late as MP is
gets forced out.
It's still alive for now, though, and they're taking out the structures. Again, it's Yapzor into the fray. He's buying them the time they need. They've taken down the melee, the range as well, and MP is going to find a kill on top of it. Nice little cherry for him. MSS down, out for 100 seconds. Oh, guys, that's some crucial control out of the picture. They don't have a boat either. Secret with the full 5-man squad staying in NP's front door. They're not going home. They're taking this game back as they turn onto the throne. Tier 4s taking heavy damage. NP now even seeing the Eclipse rain down. It's MP just standing his ground, though. NP's unafraid. He can't find a way in, and Fada's controlled. The EMP's there. The ice wall keeps him in place, and now tier 4 number 1 down, tier 4 number 2 down, there's the hook, it's Yapzor again, he holds them in position, the Deputy Bless 2, a double trouble combo, mid 1, slamming the door, the Sunstrike as well, icing on top, Secret firing on all cylinders, slaughtering NP. 3 have fallen. It's gonna be 4. No buybacks in sight. Make it 5. Secret come back from the abyss, and they will take game 1.
A 20,000 goal